first Australian in the Grand Prix. It's an honour, and when I was invited as a participant via New Japan Pro Wrestling and CMLL's working relationship, I knew I had to take the opportunity because Mexico's always been on my bucket list. I've always wanted to compete in this country and in this form of pro wrestling. And I think I've got a style that suits lucha libre quite well. I call it Austro Lucha, so it's the Australian version. So I'm very, very much looking forward to competing in front of the fans here all over Mexico.
What's your feeling about wrestling here in Arena Mexico, one of the greatest arenas in wrestling history?
Oh, it's surreal. It's absolutely a dream come true to compete in Arena Mexico. And, it's not foregone on me how important it is to compete in Arena Mexico. So I'm just excited to be a part of it, to see my banner hanging from the rafters as well. It makes it even more special. The fact I get to do it a few times, like a lot of people maybe get to do it once, but I get to compete in Arena Mexico a lot. So I'm going to make sure that not only do I wrestle in Arena Mexico, but I'm going to put CMLL on notice. I'm going to let them know what Robbie Eagles and the Sniper in the Skies is all about.
But what is your opinion also that you're going to be also in Arena Coliseo, Arena Puebla, a lot of presentations that you have this weekend?
Yeah, I can't wait to explore the country, to see all the arenas that I get to compete in, to meet more of the luchadors. There's only a few that I've actually gotten in the ring with, so I want to get a feel for the style firsthand, and I want to compete with the best that CMLL has, Mexico's best. I want to compare myself and what I've done for 14 years in Australia and in Japan and all other countries I've wrestled in, compare that to what the guys in Mexico have been doing and see if I stack up. And I'd like to think I'm pretty even, but the matches I have across this country are going to dictate that.
What did you expect to learn from the Mexican style?
I think a lot more of the pacing. The pacing is very different here in Mexico. It's a faster style. There's a lot more action. There's a lot more going on, especially in the tag team environment. So I'm going to use my peripheral vision and try to develop a sixth sense so I can feel someone coming when I don't even have my eyes on them. But I really want to pick up my pace and learn how to wrestle at a faster speed. So hopefully that's what I'll develop from wrestling here in CMLL.
We just saw you put your first step in the ring of Arena Mexico. What's your feeling about that? You feel all the excitement? You feel... what's your feeling about in the ring of Arena Mexico?
Oh yeah, it's like a dream. And even when I step inside the ring when there's no one in the arena yet, it's like I'm a kid again, and I can hear all the fans, even though they're not there yet. It's a very, very cinematic moment also in my mind. It's something that I've visioned for a long time, being a pro wrestler, thinking about my first step into a ring in Mexico, and that feeling can't be beaten. But when the arena is full on Friday night, when people are there and I actually come through the curtain all the way through the stage down and it's match time, it's going to be a whole nother feeling. Excitement, nerves, and just the anticipation of competing in that situation. And obviously visualizing my win and then having it happen firsthand, because spoilers, I'm going to win the matches. And if you guys don't think that, then you haven't been watching Robbie Eagles. So get ready for it.
What is your opinion about the match of this Friday against Volador Jr., Averno, and Dragon Rojo Jr.?
I'm looking forward to it. I am quite familiar with Volador Jr., having done tours of Japan against him before. So I want to see kind of what he's changed in his game, because we haven't been in the ring together since, I think, at least 2019. So that's 3 years for him to grow, 3 years for me to grow. So it'll be interesting. Averno, someone that I've seen through online presentations before, but Dragon Rojo is someone that I'm very eager to get into the ring with. I know that he's a champion here at the moment, so I want to prove myself against the champions and prove that I can be a contender for any championships that are being held in CMLL right now.
Are you waiting to face once again Titan because of the match that you had with him in Best of the Super Juniors?
Of course, I'm wearing the t-shirt because I don't want people to forget, and I don't forget. He cost me my opportunity to get to the finals of the Best of the Super Juniors. So, I said online on Twitter straight after, if I have to come to Mexico to put a beating on him, then I will. And look, I'm here now. So, if Teton's paying attention, he should be watching this and he should be listening, because I'm not scared of Teton. I'm ready to lay it in, and I know what to look for this time around. He changed his game in Best of the Super Juniors and caught me off guard, but I know that his leg didn't feel the same after that match, so might go to the well again and put him out for a little bit longer this time.
Do you consider yourself as a privilege for presenting yourself in Japan and Mexico?
Sorry, one more time.
Did you consider yourself a privilege to perform here in Mexico and Japan as Australian wrestler?
Of course, there's not many Australian or Southern Hemisphere-based wrestlers from Australia or New Zealand that get to go around the world. So I'm always privileged to be in Japan, to be in Mexico. I've competed in the UK, the US, and then smaller countries like Malaysia and the Philippines as well. And it's a privilege to get anywhere in the world, because I was a kid at 6 or 7 years old, drawing himself as a pro wrestler for what he watched on television, holding up a championship belt, and every day I wake up, as I'm 32 now, been in the game for 14 years, I pinch myself because I'm so lucky to be a pro wrestler, whether it's locally in Australia on the smaller circuit that's grown into something bigger now, or representing Australia on a stage like Arena Mexico. It is what dreams are made of. I'm very lucky that this is my job and this is my career, and I continue to be thankful for people like yourself, the media, the fans, supporting us in what we do.
What is talking about of Mexican style here in Australia? Or the Mexican lucha libre style?
In Australia?
Uh-huh.
We have experienced it a little bit, maybe a bit more of the adaptive crossbreed of the US style of wrestling and Mexican style, based on some of the luchadors we have had come visit us. But I think I'm going to be more versed in the techniques than CMLL are going to expect in the competitors here. So I know a few more of their tricks than I think people are paying attention to.
How special also is this month for your career? First, here in CMLL for some weeks, but then you will travel to United States to make your return in New Japan Strong.
Yeah, this month is super special. August is going to be a big one for me, and as you can see on my face, I don't take my matches lightly. These stitches aren't going to be a problem for any of the fights I have coming up. I've been through worse. I felt worse. I feel pretty good. I'm in the best shape I've been in my career, so I'm ready to compete in CMLL over the next couple of weeks. Make my way to New Japan Strong. I get to take on Kevin Blackwood over there, and that's going to be a really fun match. And just to cement my legacy even further, to tick Mexico off the list of countries that I've been and represented Australia, and my second country of the Philippines, because that's where half my heritage is, to show that an Australian Filipino in pro wrestling that starts in a small town in Sydney can get to where he's gotten to. This month specifically is going to be part of that legacy that I leave behind.
Talking about the Grand Prix, there's a ceremony before the match where the army plays the national anthem. Do you know about something about this tradition? It's intimidating for a foreigner. Maybe you feel the pressure with all the crowd singing the national anthem.
Yeah, I have. I've done my study. I've watched some Grand Prix from the past, and it definitely will be intimidating. It's like when the Australian rugby team has to compete against someone else in the World Cup. They have the national anthems, and we fight on the rugby field with New Zealand a lot, and they do the haka, which is very intimidating. So to have the military presence there and to have the national anthem sung by, of course, everyone in the arena, it's going to be intimidating, but I've been the underdog before, many times in my career. So I'm actually looking forward to that intimidation factor, because that's going to fuel my adrenaline that goes into that match, and that's probably going to make me try to walk out as the winner of the Grand Prix even more so, because who's going to expect the little Australian Filipino kid to take it all out? That's the true story there. So I say bring it, sing it as loudly as you can, because inside I'm singing the Australian national anthem, and I've got my pride and my heart in my sleeve, so I'm looking forward to it.
I don't want to put extra pressure, but some wrestlers told us that it's like going to war, feeling that national anthem, that national part of Mexico, they feel like war. So you feel extra confident, you're gonna take that pressure and and make you stronger, maybe?
I think so. Yeah. Often when I wrestle, I draw a line in the middle of the ring, and I tell people to cross it because I don't want to show that I'm intimidated when it comes to fighting, when it comes to combat. I want to make sure that people understand that once the bell rings and once I'm in the ring, I'm there. I'm there to wrestle. I'm there to win. And I'll keep fighting even when people think I'm done, when my opponents think I'm done. I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep kicking out. You put me in a submission, I'm not going to tap out. It's going to take way more than you think to beat Robbie Eagles. So the national anthem's just part of it. So it's going to fuel the fire for me even more so.
How did you see the lineup of Grand Prix of Mexican team and rest of the world team?
It's very impressive. We've got a little bit of strategy and tactics to go through for the rest of the world because we haven't all banded together. But I'm very fortunate having guys like Rocky Romero and Tiger Mask on my side. Most recently, Tiger Mask and I were the IWGP Junior Tag Team Champions for quite a number of months in Japan. And that was an unexpected team. That was something that was thrown together and people didn't expect us to go as far as we did. We actually beat Rocky Romero and Taguchi and El Fantasma and Taiji Ishimori in the Tokyo Dome to retain those championships. So we're a pretty formidable team. Rocky and I have teamed before and being part of Chaos together. We've got some tactics that we can already throw up our sleeve. So it'll just be seeing the dynamic between the rest of us on our team and how that all flows. But I think it's going to be quite a good unit. We're going to work together quite well. I am interested to see how Team Mexico works. I don't know if those guys have always gotten along to the best of friends. So if there's some cracks there that we can play with, I'm definitely going to be looking for those over the next couple of weeks.
How much do you know about Mexican team? Titan, Soberano Junior, Templario, Último Guerrero, Volador Junior, all the team of Mexico. How much do you know about it?
I know a little, probably more than people would anticipate. I know. Obviously, Ultimo Guerrero is a legend, so to get into the ring with him, I've got a lot of my students and peers from back home in Australia for a company, PWA in Sydney, that are desperately waiting to see me fight these famous luchadors, and Ultimo Guerrero was one at the top of the list of some of my peers. Soberano Jr. I've met during my first tour of Japan, so we faced off before. And I think the last time we were in the same arena was in 2019 for the Super J Cup in the USA. So I want to see how he's grown. Templario is a name that I've heard plenty of. But yeah, I definitely have to do more of my research, but I like to do it firsthand. You know, you can only take in so much. And there's so many opportunities for me to have matches here in CMLL with different luchadors that rather than watch each person and study each person vigorously, you know, I need to get my sleep as well. So I'm going to go into some of these matches as, you know, slight warm-ups. If I get to face across from any of the other Team Mexico competitors over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be using that as study, win, lose, or draw. Take in the hits, take in the techniques from them, and then learn and kind of, you know, I'm a tactician. I'm the sniper of the skies. So I wrestle a very specific way. It'll be interesting for them to get a read on me too.
And what is your opinion about CMLL and New Japan relationship?
I think it's great. It's a great relationship. It lets us do things like this, like the Grand Prix, and have an international flair. And especially as Japan is starting to expand and get more people in New Japan specifically from other countries. You've got guys like Francisco Akira from Italy representing there in Japan now. Myself and a few others like Mikey Nichols representing Australia. And you've got TMDK, an Australian faction that's now a unit in New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's going to see more flavor and flair. And we had, you know, Titan as a representative in the Best of the Super Juniors. I want to see more of that. I want to see more relationship. I want to see more Mexico versus Australia as well, or Mexico versus the Philippines. Because there's a burgeoning scene in the Philippines too, and I got to experience it right before the pandemic kind of shut the world down for a little bit. So I'm really looking forward to this relationship continuing to grow, and hopefully growing into more avenues based on the competitors that come in, like myself from Australia and having a Filipino background. I want to see more of that extending out and more opportunities for international matches to continue to happen, not just here in Mexico, but around the world.
Do you think that relationship between CMLL and New Japan is one of the most important in Lucha Libre?
I think so. It's definitely one of the most historic. You can see it on the walls of Arena Mexico from the history that's painted there, and I think it's definitely super important to the junior division as well, because lucha libre and the way that the luchadors wrestle takes things to such new heights that can never be seen, and especially as the years go on and wrestling evolves, the guys here in CMLL and girls too are doing things that are out of this world that you don't expect human beings to be capable of. So that inspires us in Japan, that inspires me in Australia when I'm at home training as well to get better and learn new techniques and surprise CMLL with what I know and what I can do. So I think it's definitely a relationship that is the strongest, it is the most important, and I can't wait to see it continue.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Can I
Thank
take
you,
a
guys.
photo spot?
Yeah, of course. Standing.